Hello, Mrs. Ehlke here. Today I painted with
Olivia.
two girls.
Olivia.
And for our project today, we drew and painted some turkeys for Thanksgiving. So if you need a fun Thanksgiving project, grab some Crayola markers and some paper. We just use computer paper and a little paintbrush and water. And you can make a turkey too, just like we did. Was this a fun one, girls?
Yes.
You recommend it?
Yes.
You bet.
I do like turkeys, but I probably want to go buy them and scare them away.
You're gonna scare them away? Maybe we should
I
go.
probably do.
Should we catch a turkey for Thanksgiving, you think?
Yes, we can eat it.
So we can eat it? You guys like eating Thanksgiving turkey?
Yeah.
Delish. Who makes the turkey in our family? Do I make it or does Daddy usually make it?
Dad.
Every year, Daddy makes the turkey. All right, you guys have fun painting and drawing your turkeys, okay? We can't wait to see how they turn out.
Bye.
Yes, rainbow turkeys. Awesome. See ya. We started with just regular computer paper and we all got different Crayola markers. We're using washable markers to make sure that they work with water later. And we're starting off with a curved line, kind of looks like a C turned sideways with the brown. Next, we're going to add a really long U shape underneath that curves right back up and hooks to the top. Next, I'm going to make a circle that goes around one side of the neck to the other side of the neck for the body. I'm going to add all these little marks inside of the circle to add the feathers on the body. You can use a thick marker or a thin marker for this, it doesn't really matter. Next, I'm adding some lines on either side of the body for the wings. I'm going to put my brown away and switch to orange. I'm going to start with a curved line right in the middle of the top of the head. That's going to be the top of the beak. Then I'm going to make a V for the bottom part of the turkey's beak. I'm also going to add some legs while I've got my orange by making some lines for the legs. And then of course some turkey feet underneath. Next, I'm going to switch to red. I'm going to add a little section that goes right above the beak and down on the side. I'm not going to make any eyes at this point. I'm going to do that after we paint with water. So now I'm actually going to keep on using red and I'm going to start making a rainbow tail. I'm starting with pretty wide feathers, and since red is the first color in the rainbow, I'm starting with red and I'm making some feathers that come out. It almost looks like a leaf. Next in the rainbow is orange, so I'm going to go ahead and add an orange feather behind my turkey. And notice how wide my feather is. It almost goes all the way to the turkey's head. So try to make yours wide as well. The next color in the rainbow is yellow. So I'm going to have that go all the way to the top of the turkey's head. And then we'll add a little bit to the middle of that. You may want to make your yellow lines a little bit thicker since yellow is such a light color. Next in the rainbow is green. So I'm going to go ahead and add green feather coming from the top of the head and connecting to the turkey's body. And then the next color in the rainbow, of course, is blue. So I'm going to add a blue feather next to my green one. I'm trying to make sure that all of my feathers are nice and wide and about the same size. And then my last feather is going to be purple. Now, if you still have some space left, you could also add a pink feather after your purple one. I didn't have any space left, so I stopped with purple. Now that we have our colors on there, we're going to mix them a little bit by using some water. And we just have a plain cup of water and some brushes. And I usually like to start with the lightest color, so yellow, and then kind of work from there. But it doesn't really matter as long as you make sure to rinse your brush in between colors. So I'm just touching my brush to the edges of the feathers and then kind of pulling the color in towards the middle of the feathers to fill it in. And you don't need tons of water for this. If you go too far with the water, then some of your colors might start bleeding together. So you want to just try to keep that water in the inside of each of your shapes. So I'm adding a little water now to my green and to my blue, just trying to kind of fill in the inside of each of my feathers. And as you can see, the girls are doing the same. Now I'm going ahead and working on the turkey's body, so I'm adding a little bit of water to the body feathers and the head. I'm using just plain water so the brown is spreading out in those areas. And I'm also going to try to be careful to get some water by the feet and the beak and the gobbler. That's okay if those two kind of run into each other a little bit. And then once my head is pretty dry, and you don't want to do this with tons and tons of water on your head, you can go in and add some black. At this point, Ella had a little issue with her turkey because the brown wasn't really blending in. So we are going in and adding just a little bit more marker so that her brown can spread across her turkey. Now it's spreading. So certain markers work better than others. We found that Crayola for sure work really nicely to get the colors spread around. Once my face of my turkey is a little more dry, you can go ahead and add some eyes. And I'm just using black dots to add the eyes. You don't want to do this when your face is super wet because then the dots will just turn into blobs. So you want to wait till it's a little bit more dry before you add those in. Another thing that you can do is to create a fun background for the turkey. And I was waiting for the girls to finish up and I thought, my background might look fun with some polka dots. So I just went in with my marker and added some polka dots in a couple different colors, starting with maybe some red. Just adding fun little dots there. And I went in with some brown. You can see Olivia's adding dots to hers. Ella's still adding some more color in her turkey, finishing up getting it nice and filled in. And with the background, you can always just leave the dots, or I decided that I wanted to go ahead and use a paintbrush and just touch each of the dots a little bit with some water, just so that they kind of blend out a little bit, make them a little more interesting to look at. So if you want to just leave your dots without any water, that's fine too. Just something fun to play with. Ella decided to make her dots quite a bit larger, more like circles, which is fine too. You can make stripes in your background or zigzags, or you could add a scene, maybe the turkey's walking around in a field. It's whatever you decide to do. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our turkey video.